Hey everyone, it's Msydad here from Bondi Boxing Gym, and I'm here with Bondi's Ken Salisbury, former Commonwealth light middleweight champion. Kenny, thank you for taking the time out to talk to us today and visiting the gym, doing some work with the guys here like Paddy. Coming and watching them spar and that. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
Value your input and your knowledge and that. Can you just sort of maybe ask you a few questions about your career and how you first got started with your amateur boxing? Can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. I was 9 years of age and being brought up in Liverpool. My dad thought it might be a good idea because it's a bit of a rough old city, which they just kind of like took me to a local boxing club, and I started from there. So 9, I had my first fight when I was 11.
Right. And
just continued on there till about teenager, about 14, 15, got into girls and bit of partying.
As most boys do.
Yeah, as most boys do, and then just dropped the boxing until I was about 18 or 19 because I'd been to a amateur boxing match in local, and it was kind of like, and I thought, I'm as good as these guys, if not better. So I thought I'll go back to it.
Sure.
So by the time I was 19, I was area champion, semi-finals for the British title, and we kind of like, we got our England best, represented England in France. And
awesome.
It was good, yeah. And then I dropped off again after that, 1921. It was just too many parties going on.
So tell me, Kenny, later on you decided to migrate to Australia. How old were you when you migrated to Australia?
I come to Australia when I was 25.
Right. And were you boxing then, or?
I thought I'd come here and maybe extend my amateur career, but there wasn't a great deal of boxing going on.
Right.
So I turned professional,
right,
with Burnley Hall.
Yeah, I remember Burnley.
Yeah, down from Surrey Hills, and we went from there.
Yeah, I remember visiting one day Burnley Halls when I was a young man. I was about 13, 14, and you were up there with Bernie and was it Hank? Hank, yeah. A couple of others training. Like concrete floor, that ring with a rope. Yeah.
Single rope of that.
That's correct.
One rope.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about your professional career, because look, you, as I said previously, you won the light middleweight commonwealth title, and you had some pretty tough fights. I remember when you fought Nelson Bozo, and then you had that popular fight up at the Opera House. And, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, the Opera House was like, it was run by a guy called John Singleton, who was a member of the board of the Opera House, but also a good friend of Sharky Raymond, who was the referee on the night. And they wanted to put that together with an ex-footballer called Tommy Radonicus.
Right.
And Tommy fronted the whole boxing match, or catastrophe, whatever you want.
Round 8 of this 12-round fight for the Australian Junior Middleweight Championship, held by Alex Temelkov, fighting in the red trunks, and challenger Ken Salisbury. Good left-right combination by Salisbury. Not
quite an event, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was quite an event. And look, Alex, I fought a guy called Alex Temelkov.
Yes.
He was the Australian champion at the time. And and with respect to Alex, I mean, it was an easy fight for me. It was kind of made for me, you know.
Yes.
It was just a brawler, and I had like loads of skill and respect of like jabbing, like crossing left hook and getting out of it, and you know, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. I was talking to Vidago Dorsey some time back when I was in Wollongong, and we were talking about that fight. I think Alex was from around that area, wasn't he?
He was from Bulli.
Yeah, Bulli, that's right. But going back to that fight, from what you can remember, what actually happened?
Well, it was the 9th round, and I was way ahead on points. There's a lot of money on the fight in respect of like just betting between the Pommies and the Australians together against like the Macedonians.
Yes.
Good and the straight left jab. Oh, that was a good left hook. That really shook up Salisbury just for a moment. And now the champ's gone a bit wild, and Bernie Hall has actually pulled him. Oh, and here's a real go. You won't see this too often. One of the cornermen, the fight's still going, and one of the cornermen from Timmelkoff's corner, Charky Raymond, the referee, is trying to stop it. The cornerman's down. Charky Raymond is now fighting with one of the cornermen. The fight will have to end. Charky Raymond throwing everything.
Because it was ended in such controversial circumstances, like the referee stopped the fight, disqualified him, the bets were supposed to be null and void, so that all bets were off. But I'd won by.
You were ahead like.
Oh yeah, I was
like
from
7 points or something like that. Yeah.
From here to Darwin, I'm ahead of them. So yeah. So we think there might have been some stuck the spoke in the works there. But look, I got crowned Australian champion, and we got the money back.
Look, one of the things that I really liked about the way you box, I like the way you a little bounce to your steps. Something that I don't see in a lot of fighters today do, is they waste a lot of energy when they do that. But I noticed you like to do it and use it and work with behind your jab, and you did it really well. You stick and move, and you create opportunities, and you'd work off that.
Yeah.
What was your favourite punch? And if I'm correct, was the jab your favourite punch?
I think so, yeah, definitely.
Can you explain to the people why was your favourite punch, and perhaps maybe extend a little more, explain to them why it's the most important punch in boxing?
I think Freddie Roach said the same thing, you know, so there's 3 of us on the same wavelength, me, you and Freddie Roach. So the jab is like from A to B, you want to get there from A to B, the short, B being the target, be in the shortest time possible, and back to your shape, go bop, bop. You know, it's like on an elastic band or a spring that's coming back. But having said that, you know, you have to complement that with the right cross and the left hook and the transfer of body weight without getting too technical about it. It's just a good shot. It's just a great shot. It's not just a rangefinder. It's a snappy. If it's thrown properly, it's a great. It can do a lot of damage.
Kenny, thank you for taking the time to catch up with us and talk today. Just one final question. What's your thought of today's fighters as opposed to the old school guys? Let's just go back to the 80s and maybe, you know, guys like Roberto Duran, Sugar Ray Leonard, Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns. What's your view on today's boxing as opposed to back then?
I have two sides to it. Boxing today obviously isn't what it was back in the 80s, 90s, in the Tyson era. But because there's so many belts, there's so many this, fighters are getting money, more of the fighters are getting money, so that's a good thing. Because back in the day when it was one belt, it was a hard struggle for them to get that. So that's that positive side of having so many belts. The negative side of it is that it really detracts from the prestige of being the world champion if there's 4 or 5 world champions. And what's the point, you know?
Sure.
In one respect. But you've got to weigh that out with the monetary side of it. And we all know it's all about the money at the end.
Business, yeah. Business in boxing. Kenny, once again, thanks a lot for catching up with us. It's lovely to have you, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, guys. Take care, and we'll see you soon. Cheers.